Hi, everybody. Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're joined by Dennis from Windmill Slam. Dennis, what is up?
Good day. I am great. How are you? I know you didn't ask how are you, but how are you?
I'm good. I'm excellent. I'm feeling good. I'm dressing my new shirt. I'm looking pretty. Why don't you show off your shirt? You said Rival Podcast. That's okay.
Yeah,
We
look,
can do
I
it.
got my nice little
Little
t-shirt here.
LR. It's okay. Limited Resources is a
And
great
this
podcast.
bullshit plaid shirt, which is all dark and plaid and stuff,
No
but
one
the
can tell that's
inside of
plaid
it
on the webcam.
looks like a normal shirt.
We can.
And I showed that to Alex. He was like, "Are you sure you have it the right way out?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm sure I have it the right way in." Like,
I
oh,
can't even tell
anyway,
how nice of a shirt it is from here, Dennis. It's impossible
it's
to
really
tell.
dark. Even like even with my own naked eye, it's really dark, let alone on webcam. But that's way, way,
Neither
way,
here
way off.
nor there. Okay, well, we've got reality dissolution and recoiling amnesia from last week, and a couple people did guess correctly, but a lot of people did not guess correctly still. And okay, Dennis crushed me 77% to 23%.
Pro
So I
tip:
was, I was
you
reality. What was that?
just make a card that already exists,
Yeah,
but like work it into the name of the card you made.
I already put in my pre-excuse. I'm already busting my excuses. Yeah, I originally designed. I didn't see the black when Dennis sent the card spec, so I designed a one and a blue card, and then I saw black. I'm like, oh no! So I had to go back and change last minute, and I also because Dennis was like, your art doesn't match, and I'm like, I know. I thought it was mono blue. It was gonna be just like a totally different spell, but that's okay. Let's critique each other's cards very quickly. They're both kind of simple and they're both
Yeah,
like not really breaking new ground. Like yours is strictly it's recoil with
sure.
flashback,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean, that would be a good effect. Recoil was a really popular card too. Did you ever get a chance to play with it?
No, but I always perpetually terrified when we're doing these that I'm gonna design a card that already exists.
You can look that
And
up pretty easily
you
though.
can, but
You
not doing
can't, but why would you?
it. No,
When you're
not
if
doing
I'm
that.
already crushing, why would I need to look
Yeah,
things
why
up?
bother?
um, you're a tough fellow to beat because you got that good flavor text ability,
Flavor text
Dennis. That
game.
is
That's where I get my points.
you really are crushing it with the flavor text. I hate every time I see a comment that's like, "I love that flavor text. It must be Dennis." I'm like, I hate you. Would you just? Oh my god.
I love it. It's
Okay.
like the only thing I'm good at.
So I mean, yeah, your card's good. Recoil was an awesome card,
My
and
card's a little lazy. I'm willing to admit that.
I mean, it's
Like
powerful. They
I was
don't
like,
like
oh
they don't like bouncing permanents these days. Did you notice that?
yeah, I could
You
have made a
almost should have swapped
creature.
it to non-land permanent. I think you should have swapped it to that.
I think recoil itself is permanent.
Yes, but I think nowadays
Sure.
bouncing permanents is kind of frowned upon.
But I didn't want to name it Recoiling Amnesia and not have it be the same as Recoil. Now, the other issue with mine is it is just strictly better than Recoil, which
Yeah,
is never
it totally
great.
is. It's the same cost except it's got flashback on it.
Yeah, it's great. Sweet card.
Yeah. And then mine's like basically a more expensive vapor snag, but they lose 2 life. So it's
Mhm.
not like I'm treading on any new ground. I think most people were probably right there. Like blue black isn't a deck that would want an effect like this, probably, because they're not like tempo decks typically. They're control decks. And why would control doesn't care about your opponent losing life, you
Mhm.
know? So all right, well earned, whatever. I think your card's cool. So all right, Dennis, 3-2.
Pulls ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting worried here. We're
I
starting
need
to
that
near
card.
we're starting to near that first punishment here, but not yet. All right, let's go over some commenter cards. So we previously we were doing like two or three. We're gonna go through quite a few this time. We'll just kind of keep our time lower for each one,
Mhm.
but let's do it. All right, so we've got commenters cards from Steam Vince, our friend Miles. We've got Phil with Dread. It's target player puts the top 13 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Flashback for 7. Flavor text. I'm not going down there. You can't make me. I like the flavor text. Miles is
That's
doing good on the flavor text.
I that is identical to one of my first designs for that week.
Oh, that's weird. This
L-
this card doesn't
Love
work
it.
though. That's a rare effect. Come on, Miles. Top 13 cards at uncommon with flashback. You cannot print this card. This would be way too good and limited.
You think?
Unacceptably good. Yes. It's
It costs
mythic.
7.
There's a mythic right now for
No, I
4
know.
that mills
Like it
13.
makes you jump through way more hoops to do
If
that.
you
Yeah,
got 2 of these in draft, you just win if you get them both. That's way too. And
true.
if you cast just this card twice in a game, you're gonna win.
All right, moving on.
Too good. Sorry, Miles. This is a rare effect, And it doesn't, and it actually doesn't make sense because it shouldn't be an instant. There's absolutely no reason this card should be an instant.
Um, I mean, it makes it better. Like it's
That
not.
that is a sorcery ability too.
Yeah.
So as cool as the card is, and it fits in with the sort of Shadows over Innistrad 13/7 theme,
Hmm.
that should not be an uncommon. All right, moving on. Lich's Bargain. This is from Marauder from Reddit. We've got name a creature card, exile cards from the top of your target opponent's library until you exile a creature card. If that card is the named card, put it onto the battlefield under your control. Otherwise, put it into its owner's library, third from the top. Put the rest into their owner's graveyard. Flashback 5 and discard 2 cards. Flavor text. I was promised your youth long ago. I will not be denied. All right, let's figure out what this is. You're naming a creature card. You're looking through the top cards of their library until you exile a creature card.
Hmm.
And if it's a card named, you get it. You get it on your side. Otherwise, you just put it in their library, third from the top, and mill them the rest.
That the whole name a thing, try hit a thing, and see if that's the thing is a sweet, really cool, interesting effect. I really, really like that. I don't think it's no one's gonna play that.
It's also this, and Marauder said this too. This is a rare effect. Come on, guys. You can't
It's
just
also
like
sorcery.
you can't just take a card spec that we get and be like, I'm gonna make a sweet card at a different rarity and pass it off as an
No,
uncommon. That doesn't work.
that's way too complicated as an uncommon.
Yes, and Marauder even mentioned this. Come on, guys. Make them.
You're so critical.
Make them uncommon. Only because we don't have a ton of time to talk about it. The effect is sweet, but if you're going to get the card spec and we got to make uncommons, you got to make uncommons too. This card is very good, but it's a rare. It's clearly a rare. I actually like this card a lot, but like you said too, it's also, this feels like a sorcery. There's absolutely no reason this should be an instant.
Yeah.
Okay, cool card though. Moving on. Draw into Despair by Sorry, name taken. Put the top 4 cards of target player's library into his or her graveyard, then destroy target creature if its power is less than or equal to the number of creature cards in its controller's graveyard. What do you
I
think?
feel like the templating's a little off, but that's fine. That's a cool card.
Yeah, I actually kind of like this effect. Let me think how this works. So you put the top 4 and then you get to target. How does this work?
Yeah.
Do you get to cast mill 4 and then choose a target? Or I think
No,
you have to...
you have to get to target upon casting.
I think that's what they were going for too, and that would make sense. I don't know why you'd be able to mill and then target. So I kind of like that it's a little bit of a crapshoot. You know, you're not sure if it's going to work or not.
Hmm.
Gives it a little bit of variance in its power level. But in limited, you could probably hope to kill, 2 to 3 power creatures most of the time.
Pestering Thoughts. I'm reading Pestering Thoughts. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So Draw into Despair. I kind of like the card. So far, this is my front runner
like it too.
on most closest to the design that I kind of like, actually. I think it's a good... I just like it. I think it's good. Pestering Thoughts. Maybe you're right. Maybe there's a templating error, but I think the ability itself feels blue-black. It's mill plus card destroy. Flashback makes it better too, so it's better in the late game when more cards are being put in their graveyard. It all makes sense. Pestering Thoughts. Same art as Dennis. Paul Peters. What are you doing?
I didn't draw the art, so like...
That's okay. It's not his art either, so yeah. Okay. And for some reason, why does his art look more crystal clear than yours, Dennis? That's weird.
All right.
Pestering Thoughts. Draw 2 cards, then each player discards 2 cards. Flashback for 6. All right, let's read this novel of flavor text. After last night, Agamemnos hasn't been able to say a single word yet. He is shivering, stuttering, and moaning. His eyes are empty. The only clue we have is that word he has written on the sand. Which word? Ashiok. Is this a quote from one of the books?
I don't know, but that is way too long.
Well, he made it fit because I guess he doesn't have a ton of text on his card. Draw 2 cards, then each player discards 2 cards.
That's cool.
Feels like a common to me though. That doesn't feel uncommon.
Putting flashback on it makes it necessarily complicated enough, I think.
Okay, I guess I could get behind that if it was just draw 2, discard 2. But I'm thinking like, wasn't Consult the Necrosages common, or was that uncommon?
Yeah, but like nowadays, almost all gold cards are uncommon anyway.
Yeah, that was more of like a common set, so I guess this could be uncommon. So draw 2, then each player discards 2. That's actually
really
pretty harsh now that I think about it. For some reason, I thought it was like both players drawing 2, discard 2. This is actually, now that you think about it, this is actually an uncommon effect for sure, because that's really powerful.
The only problem
draw
is
2?
It's instant speed discard. I
Yeah,
know
and
mine
that's
was too.
actually that's really frowned upon these
Now
days.
mine wasn't as bad because recoil mine gives you a card to discard, whereas this card you can nab someone during their draw step.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have to take a few design points away only because instant speed discard really is that strong and they really have strayed away from it. If you want an example,
Super
a modern day example, Vessel of Malignity in Shadows over
malignancy
Innistrad, that is
isn't.
the black one.
Oh yeah,
Makes your opponent exile 2 cards from their hand, but sorcery speed
sorcery
only.
speed.
So, and I think that's the only one that you can activate at sorcery speed only,
Yeah.
I believe, because it's too good otherwise. All right, next, Bruce Niger. This is an emailer. Catabolic Doppelganger. Put a token onto the battlefield that is a copy of target creature you don't control, then destroy the original target. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice the token and return it to the battlefield. Is that what it is?
And it just says and battlefield.
Yeah, I don't know if he he obviously missed a word there. Flashback, blue, black, red, and 3. This might be blue, black, red because tokens and temporary nature of the beast. So let's see. Let me try and identify what's going on here. You're putting a token on the battlefield as a copy of target creature you don't control. So you're getting one of their creatures. Then you're destroying their creature. And then at
It's
the
like
beginning
Evil
of the
Twin.
next end step, you sacrifice the token and battlefield. What do you think he was trying to say with the and battlefield?
Okay, so what's this,
Oh,
what's happening?
and return your probably and return the original target to the battlefield.
I guess. Problem is, creature doesn't get haste. Your token doesn't have haste, so you can only use it to block. I don't understand. Like the token that you get doesn't have haste, so you can't attack with it. I mean it's instant speed, so you can block with it. But I like the idea of that creature goes away, you get like the doppelganger creature, but because it's only 3 mana, it has to be for only one turn. Um, you don't need to sacrifice the creature. Like you don't need to destroy the target. Then you can probably just exile it and have it come back. But like this is almost a cool card. I think. I don't think it's quite
Yeah,
there
it
though.
seems a bit overly complicated for what it wants to do. Can't you just like steal it, block with it, and then they get it back or something? Why do you have to like do the weird tokeny?
Well, that's just threaten then,
Yeah, but it's essentially a more complicated threat and that does the same thing now.
or ray of command. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's not as good because they always get their guy back.
yeah, it's
This way.
very strange, but that is okay. We're still appreciating what you got, and I like. Well, the name doesn't feel like an instant either. All right,
Mm.
Bruce. Not trying to be overly critical, my friend. I still appreciate the card
The
idea.
effort.
It's making us think. Next, we have Ani Cow.
Sure.
Restless Dreams. Put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. Return target instant, sorcery, or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Flavor text. Am I awake? Is this a dream? I don't think. Well, I guess creature. Yeah, that's in black. Instant
That's
or
fine.
sorcery. That's
That's
blue.
fine. It's a little unexciting, but it's a totally fine, printable, reasonable card.
No, I like this card. It actually does feel. Actually, it feels really powerful now I think about it. You're milling yourself 4, which isn't good, but you're
That's
digging
fine.
for things to find, and it's got flashback, so it's like built-in card advantage that you get to choose.
Well, it just replaces itself.
No,
It's just a
because
wonderful
but it's got flashback too.
Yeah, then it's but then it's like at that point you're paying 6 mana to draw 2 cards. You're playing 2 blue, blue, black, black
True,
to draw
but
two
you're
cards.
also
Obviously, you have high selection because they're not just any cards.
but it's also instant. This might be my favorite design so far.
This is cool. Yeah, I like this.
I
This is
like
fun.
this one the most, I think. All right, next we have Triceranaps. Counter target spell. That spell's controller puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And then flashback, blue black, put the top 5 cards of your library into your graveyard. Flavor text, how much longer till you realize that I'm in complete control? So
Is this
each
not a
flashback
card
gives
already?
you to your other copies. Oh, I see. So it's like the idea is you run it in multiples and you're finding more counter spells.
This is Psychic Strike, isn't it? But without the flashback.
I don't remember Psychic Strike. Did that mill as well?
Yeah, Psychic Strike.
You're going to have to be the person that
Counter
digs up
target
the
spell. Its
cards.
controller puts the top 2 cards of his or library into his or graveyard. 1 blue, black.
Does it have flashback too?
No, this the
Okay.
flashback's new.
Flashback counters are a little bit dangerous. There's not a lot of them.
But flashback milling yourself is cool.
Yeah, I like the idea of digging to more of them. That's a cool idea. And hard counters are good, so this seems like it would be a perfectly playable
Yes.
limited card.
Mhm.
Okay, next we have James with a Gamble Distraction. Tap target creature. Another target creature gets -1/-1, and this creature cannot block until end of turn. Flashback 3 and a blue-black. So,
This is
tapping.
weird.
I don't think about tapping creatures in blue-black. I don't think they do that, do they?
You can tap things in blue. That's fine. You can give
Okay,
things
yeah, no,
on
that's
block.
true. That works. Another target creature gets -1/-1. There's the black aspect, and this creature cannot block. That's also black. So
Is it? Is that a black ability?
yeah, there is an enchantment from Core Set. One black target creature gets -1/-1 and can't block. Crippling
Oh,
Blight.
sure.
Crippling Blight.
Um, yeah, this is just those two cards stapled together, then I guess, which is fine. I don't really like the whole creature getting -1/-1 and it can't block this turn. Because like hey, what's the I don't that's just two dual purposes that never both matter. So say it's like a 3/1, the -1/-1 kills it, so it doesn't matter that it can't block. But say it survives the -1/-1, well, it's not getting into combat this turn, so it doesn't matter.
And by that same token, this shouldn't be an instant either then. If it's this creature cannot block, there's no reason this card should be an instant. You wouldn't want that kind of versatility on it is like not
It's
mechanic
weird.
it's not mechanically synergistic, you know what I mean? It doesn't
It's
make
just tacked
sense
on. Yeah.
that it's an instant if you're making something cannot block. But valiant effort. Thank everybody for the commenter cards. I didn't mean to be too
Yeah, I
harsh.
feel like we come across as really critical. We're not, and we're also don't pretend to be like paragons of game design or anything.
Yeah,
Either.
yeah, we're just trying. We're giving you our immediate like
Gut
visceral
reaction.
responses to your cards. So okay, card suggestion for this week's episode. This comes from Talon Moon, who voted for you on this one, and then we've
Yeah.
got
No,
that was
oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
this is from a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
So I apologize if we don't pull your suggestion from the week we do it. I think we're basically just scouring through all of the suggestions for
Yeah.
ones we're interested in. So the suggestion for this week is Tuna Blue, a creature rare. As per usual, I'm going to read both cards, and then neither Dennis or I are going to comment on them until next week. So without further ado, here we go. Mystical Mentor, Tuna Blue, rare, human wizard, 1/3. When Mystical Mentor enters the battlefield, search your library for an instant or sorcery card and reveal that card. Shuffle your library, then put the card on top of it. When Mystical Mentor leaves the battlefield, exile the top card of your library. And the flavor text is, Perception and Peril are two sides of the same coin. Next we have Cautious Illusionist. 2 and a blue, 2/2, human wizard, rare. When Cautious Illusionist enters the battlefield, draw a card. When Cautious Illusionist becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. If Cautious Illusionist would die, return it to your hand instead. Flavor text, he was here a second ago, I swear. Okay, as per usual, both of those card images will be uploaded to Imager. You can check in the video description. We got a suggestion that I should put them side by side in one picture, so I'm going to do that.
Makes
So you
sense.
can just
Yeah.
click the one picture, see them both side by side, get a better idea of which one you like more. So how to vote, you can contact us at whosecardisItanyway@gmail.com. You can go to Twitter at WCIIA podcast. That's Whose Card Is It Anyway podcast. And tweet at us, follow us on Twitter. You can leave a comment with a suggestion for next week. If you do that, remember to include the card cost, the color, the rarity, and the type.
Yep.
And be sure to vote. Make it clear for us who you're voting for. All you got to say is, I vote for...
I vote for blank. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's it for this week. Dennis, please plug away. What do we got on the
My side of
burners here?
things. You can find us at youtube.com/windmillslamMTG or windmillslamMTG.com or twitter.com/windmillslamMTG or patreon.com/windmillslam, where we make all sorts of Magic the Gathering content, like a game show and a podcast, both of which we haven't really been doing lately, but we'll get back to it, and mostly drafts. So yeah.
And yeah, I love Windmill Slam. They're awesome. They're hilarious and very popular. Very popular little channel you got over there, Dennis.
All right, I think you're at least as equally as popular as we are. So.
Yeah, but I've also been doing it longer. You guys are really killing
That's
it.
true.
You guys are doing good. So, yep, that's all we got this week. Feel free to vote. More Shadows over Innistrad content on the horizon from both of us, I'm sure. So tune into that. Thank you, everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.